So here's the question. If you are a voter, a Republican, pro-life voter, believe in marriage, Second Amendment, you know that ISIS is a threat, you want Planned Parenthood defunded, you want judges like Anton Scalia to be on the Supreme Court, and Donald Trump gets the nomination, what do you do? Do you vote for a third-party candidate? Do you refuse to vote? Do you vote for Hillary Clinton? Or do you vote for Donald Trump? Those are your options. I repeat, you can, I'll do them in a different order. You could begrudgingly vote for Trump. You could say, I hate Donald Trump, I'll vote for Hillary. You could say, no, is there a third-party candidate, or who could I write in and vote for that person? Or you could just say, I'm staying home, I'm not voting. Those are your options. Voting for Trump would put him one step closer to defeating Hillary. Any of the other options, voting for Hillary is one for her. Voting for a third-party candidate is a half a vote for her. And staying home is a half a vote for her. The first helps Trump, the other three hurt Trump. There are Republican insiders. There are people on the record, big money, establishment people, activists, policy wonks, people appearing on TV, eggheads, people writing, who have said, if Trump is the nominee, they will refuse to vote for him. Some have said that they would vote for Hillary. One of Jeb's big billionaire supporters said he would vote for Hillary. Why? Now, I've done a show. I urge you to look at the link at the bottom there, or the topic there. Go to our website if you want. I've done a lengthy show explaining why the Republican establishment, many parts of the Republican establishment and the conservative establishment would rather have Hillary, because it protects the Republican Party status quo. It protects the conservative movement status quo. In Hillary, they get a worthy adversary that they can use to raise money and be the loyal opposition, etc., etc. I'm not here to discuss that today. I'm here to quote to you from an elected Republican who is on the record as saying that he will not vote for Trump if he is the nominee. Now, to my knowledge, he's the only sitting senator that has said this. There may be others. I'm going to pull some quotes from his writing. But first, I want to play for you a clip from Donald Trump's speech last night after he won Mississippi, Michigan, and Hawaii.
I say, let's come together, folks. We're going to win. I say, let's come together. Carl, the answer is not 100%, but largely I would say yes. You know, some people you're just not going to get along with it. It's okay. But largely I would like to do that. And believe it or not, I am a unifier. I unify. I mean, you look at all of the things I built all over the world. I'm a unifier. I get along with people. I have great relations. I even start getting along with you, right? Huh? Campaign Carl. But no, I get along with people. And I really say this, Carl, I think it's time to unify. We have something special going in the Republican Party, and unfortunately, the people in the party, they call them the elites, or they call them whatever they call them, but those are the people that don't respect it yet. We have millions and millions of people, I discussed it before, we have millions and millions of people coming up and voting, largely for me, in all fairness, but for other people also. And Carl, you know this because I've seen you report on it. It's a record. It's a record. It's never happened before. In 100 years, what's happening now to the Republican Party has never happened before. And the people in the party, whether you call them establishment or not, you can call them anything. I don't know if there is such a thing as the establishment, frankly. But whether you call them the establishment or not, they should embrace it. They should, you know, the Democrats would love to have what's happening. I have friends on the other side. They say, boy, would we like that to happen. You know, Carl, they're down 35%. There's no spirit there. Whereas we're way up with millions of people. So what I say to the Republicans is embrace it. We will win the election easily.
Now, that's not so bad. And if you listened to his entire speech last night, it wasn't something that most conservative Republicans would flinch at or would be like, oh no. I'm going to read to you excerpts from this published statement of an elected Republican and use it for a teaching moment. Okay? Can I do that? He said, "You are rightly worried about our national direction. You ache about crony capitalist leadership class that is not urgent about tackling our crises. You are right to be angry. I'm as frustrated and saddened as you are about what's happening to our country, but I cannot support Donald Trump." All right, let's look at some of the things. If you look at the polls that show what voters are upset about. Jobs, okay? Jobs means, by definition, our trade agreements with China, with Japan, with South Korea, with Mexico, because so many of our jobs, our high-paying manufacturing jobs over the last 3 decades have gone south of the border or have gone to the Pacific Rim. So there's no way to separate jobs from foreign trade agreements. I ask you, of all the Republicans in the race and Hillary Clinton, who would you rather have negotiate trade deals? A proven businessman or a policy wonk who's committed to an ideology no matter how much harm it brings to the American worker? Now, I'm going to come back to that, but I want to go over a couple more things. But that point is critical because I actually am a way more of a protectionist than I am a free trader at this point in our history. And I'll explain why in a minute. But first, let's talk about the other things that really are under people's skin. The deal with Iran was a disaster for us, a disaster for freedom. We're going to give tens of billions of dollars to a state sponsor of terrorism. That means that they're a state that pays terrorists to fight and to kill and to murder. Okay? Donald Trump is right on the money with Iran. What has Trump said that's not correct? ISIS. Trump has said he's going to destroy them. He's going to annihilate them. What's the problem? Oh, but he said Putin is doing a good job. Did you know that our number one adversary not too long ago was England? Now we consider them our number one ally. And there was a time when we fought a war with them, and then we fought another war in 1812. So there are things about Putin and Russia that are very alarming. But friends, we are not dealing with the Soviet Union here. We are not dealing with Stalin. We are not dealing with Khrushchev. Don't kid yourself. There have been many changes in Russia, many changes. And it's moving slowly in some areas towards a more open and free society. It just is. Well, they don't have total freedom of the press. Neither does England. Read the laws on English press. It's not America, trust me. So he said that Putin is a strong leader. Putin is a strong leader. I would certainly rather see Donald Trump in a room with Putin than Marco Rubio or John Kasich. And the fact that Putin is taking the fight to ISIS and unfortunately killing civilians in the process, we have to accept that that's a reality. If a terrorist is living in a home and he's using that home as a shield, President Reagan ordered the attempt to drop bombs on Gaddafi and to kill him. President Reagan ordered the bombing of Gaddafi, and Gaddafi survived. One of his kids was killed. It was horrible. It was sad. The kid wasn't the target. Gaddafi was the target. But if Gaddafi is hiding with members of his family and some of his family members die, that's the cost of war at this time in human history. It just is. And don't kid yourself. Look at Hiroshima, Nagasaki, the bombing of Dresden, all right? I don't want to hear feigned outrage. Planned Parenthood, I want to defund Planned Parenthood. So do I. So do I. And Trump has said he will defund Planned Parenthood as long as they're killing babies. You know, you have to remember, from 2000 to 2006, the Republicans controlled the U.S. House of Representatives, the U.S. Senate, and the presidency. And they never defunded Planned Parenthood when they had all three branches in their power. So to say, well, Donald Trump said that he, Planned Parenthood does good things. I don't agree with him on that. He threw him a bone. Go and watch my entire show on Donald Trump throws Planned Parenthood a bone. He threw him a bone, but he said he's going to defund them. What else can we ask for? All right? When President George W. Bush was in office, he didn't defund him. The U.S. House, the U.S. Senate, they didn't defund him. We were betrayed. Oh, but we need a strong constitutionalist to replace Scalia. All right, I'm with you. President Reagan, one of my heroes, gave us Justice Kennedy, who has turned out to be a treacherous, evil Judas. Bush the Elder gave us David Souter, who upheld Roe versus Wade. Republican presidents giving us rotten nominees. And then when we had Sotomayor or Kagan coming before the Senate, and the Senate could have filibustered those nominees, Lindsey Graham, the guy who ran for president, then endorsed Bush and is just thrashing Donald Trump, part of the establishment. Lindsey Graham led the fight to make sure that Sotomayor and Kagan could be confirmed. All right? That's the level of treachery and evil that we're dealing with in the Republican Party. So when this elected official says, I'm as frustrated, as sad as you are what's happening in our country, but I cannot support Donald Trump. Well, the things that are happening in our country, Donald Trump is on the right side. He said he's going to support the Second Amendment. I'll grant that a lot of his conversions are new, and that makes me nervous. And there are other people that were running that I would think maybe might make a better president. Maybe Ted Cruz would make a better president. That's not the issue right now, okay? Donald Trump is moving towards the nomination, and I put out on the site how he is going to do it. So the question in front of us is, if Cruz can't stop him, and he gets the 1,237 votes that he needs, the delegates that he needs to be the nominee, are we going to stay at home? Are we going to vote for Hillary? Are we going to vote for a third-party candidate? Or are we going to vote for Donald Trump? I'll be right back.